guys, how you going? So today on BKRsport, this is going to be a bit of a chat here. We're going to sit down and have a little bit of a discussion about, I guess, why you haven't been seeing those Titans vs Rabbitohs vlogs or the Titans vs Tigers vlog that doesn't come out. You know, there is a lot of questions that have been asked on my Instagram and Facebook and all the likes, right, and comments to our videos. And, you know, I understand they're very valid questions because I've obviously built this channel over years and years and years now to be consistent, to be, you know, regardless of the result, we're putting something out, even though it would affect me, which we'll get into it. But regardless of the result, we would put something out and be consistent because we love this channel, you know. And I'll just preface this entire video by saying I love BKRsport, the community we have on live streams, the community we have in general, people that I see at games, the podcasts that we have, and, you know, everyone that I see and we deal with for the most part are fantastic humans that I've really enjoyed and loved building here. And it has been such a positive, banter, fun community where we all can just have a bit of a laugh and whatnot, where it doesn't get too serious. Obviously, you do get a lot of dickheads and you do get a lot of muppets and trolls and whatnot, and that's going to happen regardless, no matter what you do. You can't not have haters. That's just how the world works, you know, and especially when you're in the sport game, especially when you're in rugby league where tribalism, it's passionate, and if you say kind of one little negative thing about a team, then everyone assumes that you hate that team from that team, right? Because you're saying they'll pick up and focus in on the one little thing you say about them, but then when you're kind of talking about other clubs in the exact same fashion and giving your thoughts on other clubs in the exact same fashion, they find it funny or they agree, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to their club, then they're like, oh, wait a second, hold on, I don't like this. You know, you're talking about my club and not giving us a positive rap. Well, you know, screw you, buddy. And it's like, okay, well, you know, fair enough. You know, I definitely see the same thing in regards to the Gold Coast Titans, and I'm very, very active in defending this club. And realistically, there's never been a reason to defend this club besides just sheer passion and sheer love for this community. And what I do, and I'll even go as far to say this, right? Like, the only two content creators that I know that truly support this club, and I'm talking content creators, not fans in general, but content creators in the NRL community, in the NRL sphere, right, is myself and Clarky's Rugby League column, one of my good friends. And, you know, myself, obviously, we've got one of the larger audiences here on YouTube for the NRL, and Clarky, he's obviously got one of the larger audiences on Instagram and Facebook and the likes, right? And when you support an incredibly tough team to support that has won one finals game in its entire history, which was all the way back in 2010, that has had to rely on other teams to lose to get into the 8 in the last two appearances in 2016, 2021, you know, has won multiple spoons since 2010, has constantly finished kind of bottom 4 area every single year. It's really, really difficult to continue to pick yourself up and to continue to have that same motivation and that same strength and resilience when, like, the club is obviously expecting that, right? And they expect the fans to show this resilience and to believe in the future and to be patient. And there's only so much of it will come. And there's only so much of one day will be the day we're building all this sort of stuff that you can tolerate before you really do start to lose your mind, you know, and to regress mentally in regards to the sheer outward passion that you show in the defense of your club. And, you know, the Tigers don't have any content creators really. There isn't really any content creators out there on a large scale that do kind of what I do, right? Now, the difference between myself and Clarky is predominantly a general, not generic, a general NRL news page, right? So Clarky obviously is incredibly passionate about the Titans, but he is a general news page where it will talk about everything that's going on in the NRL, and it's a place where all fans can kind of comment and discuss and have their say about what's happening. And then obviously he does his tier rankings, which people don't agree with, which is their opinion, but he's also entitled to his opinion. He cops a different kind of hate because although he's known as a Titans fan, it's not the same as what we do here, right? Because what we do here is we directly go to every single game. I'm in amongst the fans, home and also away. And it's very easy to be a target for people to let out their abuse and their anger and not recognize that they're not the only person that is doing it. It's other people too. And they think it's banter, but it's like there's only so much also banter that you can tolerate, right? Especially when you've got to understand, I am emotionally, physically, financially, and mentally invested in this club. And what I do is BKRsport, right? So I can't get away from it. Social media is 24/7. You can't just really click off, right? If you click off, you're going backwards. You're not doing what you need to do. And that is a negative to the growth of the goals that you want to achieve, right? So you can't really click off, because when I'm not doing a YouTube vlog or a YouTube live stream or something on YouTube, which does take a lot more time and effort than people do give credit for as well, because they only see the finished product. But, you've also got the Instagram outlet, you've got the Facebook outlet, the TikTok outlet, you've got all these different places where people are either asking you questions or talking about you or commenting about you, or just kind of, it's never ending, right? It's never ending. So to kind of bottle all that up and summarize all that is that there is so many factors that go into what it takes to be someone like myself, who does actively go to every single game for a struggling club that has never had a voice, and I do my best to proactively create a voice on social media for a team in defense, because nobody else will ever defend this team. They have never been defended, and no one else ever will defend this team. It's just not like that, right? So it's very, very difficult. Despite the fact that we do lead a positive life of being able to travel and whatnot, it's very, very difficult mentally to encapsulate all of that, and then your team coming last. Your team's coming last. I'm in with the fans every single week. I see the sad faces. I know the people behind the sad faces.
That was a complete 80-minute line today. The Titans, they took a lot of work to get in front, but once we got in front, we got the momentum, and the boys just dug deep. A couple of big charges there at the end. Yeah, mate. Just the way the boys kept turning up. The Titans were actually, making a lot of yards between us, but no one gave up. Some of that still did.
I see all the sadness online, the frustration online, the anger online from the fans. But let's not also forget that I also do see these players and know how hard they're working. And I know these players and I see the sadness there, and I see how their emotions are and their feelings are. And then let's not forget that I also know the organisation, who I've known for, my life, right? Like 15 odd years, and I'm 30, but for half my life then, I have known, people within the club, whether it be the CEO or it be the owners or it be membership or it be just anyone in general, that they're going through a tough time too, and every single person amongst this community is struggling. You can talk about the future this, the future that, all you like, but at the end of the day, everyone is doing their best, whether it be the fans trying to support, which they're kind of turning at the moment to opposite ways. The players who are trying to play their best game, they're not actively going out there to not play well enough. And the organisation who are trying to build a club, whether you agree or disagree with how they're trying to build that club, at the end of the day, they're doing their best, right? I have always seen, because I found myself in the Gold Coast Titans when I was a young, long, streaky, blonde-haired kid, right? I found myself in this club, and because of that, my heart, and this might sound stupid to the people out there, this might sound silly, this might sound ridiculous, right? But I also don't give a shit, right? Because this is me. My heart is with the club, and I would argue it is the club, because when we win, I feel elation regardless of the placing on the table, regardless of where we are, because I know that makes the people happy, right? Everybody happy around the place. When we lose, I take it personally. I've taken it personally. And that's something that I need to figure out a way to remove. I need to figure out a way to remove feeling personal about the result, because at the end of the day, it is footy, but it's also, I'm 24/7 involved in this club. So there has to be a process to understanding how to not take it personally when this team isn't going well, which is all the time. Because I've put everything of me into this club. And I still do. But to get to the purpose of the video here, sometimes putting out a vlog is not enjoyable. And it makes you feel like you don't love what you're doing anymore, because you're just constantly editing for 2.5 hours or so. You and the people you love and the people you know around you, sad, dejected, empty, and dead inside. Right? The people that I were with at the game, I made sure I went up and gave everybody a hug and shook their hand and whatnot after the game. I could tell that it was different. This is the Tigers game, right? I could tell that it's just becoming too much. And I wouldn't even say that this isn't the game that shit hit the fan. The shit hit the fan last week with the Rabbitohs. But this one was just a very different breed. And it's like, so I've got all that, and that's all on camera. And you come home and you get all the messages from all the haters. You get all the comments from all the fans, abusing the club. And it's like, I get ya, but also it's the club, and my heart hurts. It does, it really does, because I've grown up with this community. And it sucks. It's like when you're in a family, right? Your mum and dad, your brother, your sister, you all ultimately love each other. You all ultimately want the best for each other. You all want everyone to succeed in the family. But it's not fun when you watch them fight internally. Right? It's not fun when you see your brother arguing with your mother, or your parents arguing, or, just... It's like a family where everyone's just throwing shade. And that's what hurts me the most. And then putting that all together might be entertainment for the other 16 clubs out there, of everybody else who watches from other 16 clubs, whoever you are. But by putting the vlogs out, it can then surface a lot of... It can then show the embarrassment and give a platform for embarrassment, right? Because ultimately, you can say views are good when we win, but you can also say views are better when we lose. And that's because inherently a lot of people want to see you upset, and they want to see you annoyed and get the entertainment value out of that. And that is embarrassing. It is. It is embarrassing. But I don't want, at this very second in time, to provide a platform for people to watch and enjoy my family and my community in sadness, right? And again, I know there's going to be people out there who don't understand the attachment that I have to rugby league, and the attachment that some people have to rugby league, because they have their other jobs, they have their other lives, and they're able to utilize it as an enjoyment and as a bit of fun. And they don't understand how you can be as attached as someone like myself is, and other people that I know are. Right? There is attachment. So I hope you can respect that I'm not just putting out wins, because I have not done that for years. I've put out every result for years. But I know right now that mentally, for myself, and also for the fact of the platform and the foundation for hatred and talking shit and laughing and embarrassing the club, I haven't been putting out those Titans versus Rabbitohs and Titans versus Tigers vlogs, right? And again, I can see your comments. I saw like on the stream the other day, a Rabbitohs fan goes, "Why didn't you put out the Titans versus Rabbitohs vlog?" You know why, bro. Like, you know why. And that's point in emphasis right there. That person knows the result. That person supports the opposition team. So their entire reason for watching that vlog is to take the piss out of me. And to take the piss out of our club and take the piss out of our fans. And laugh and insult. And whilst that's all a factor, and everyone does that regardless, that is entirely your opinion. You are entitled to do that. That doesn't mean that I have to do that. Because I have a duty of care in my mind to not embarrass the club and to not embarrass the community. So as you will see, there is still streams, and I love these streams, man. The community that we have is unbelievable. The donations that you guys show is really, really amazing, that you enjoy my content so much that you would support financially by any means. The group that we have, like the moderators of Jay, Daz, Sundo, everyone, right? Jenko, everyone who is a moderator does such a fantastic job with limiting the amount of shit talk that is thrown directly at people or thrown directly at me. And I've actually been really enjoying the streams lately because it is a place where we commentate, we talk about the game, we watch the footy, and, we can honestly just have a chat about what's happening in the game and also the NRL, and I'm in a pretty good space. It's a great space on those streams. And it feels really, really easy. And then you've got the people in general, the subscribers, who really do make up what we're doing here and make the building of what we're trying to achieve valuable, because I'm able to bounce off you. You understand what this channel is and I understand what you guys are, and no one takes things too seriously because you understand the intention that I have behind it. And that's the big thing that I want to tell everybody here. If you want to create a social media platform, or no matter what you do in life, because there is going to be people that don't like you regardless of what you do, right? But there is going to be a lot more. I have 95% love, 5% hate. But the love can also be quite silent, right? There is a lot of loud love. The hate is extremely loud for such a small portion. But there is also such a large and a significant majority of people that watch and enjoy and listen and contribute and, maybe not necessarily contribute, but just by subscribing and following and whatnot. There is a large majority, and I'd even go as far as say 85% who watch, enjoy, love, and will pull me aside at a game, or pull me aside at a Titans function, or pull me aside wherever, or message me on Instagram or Facebook, and just let me know how much they are enjoying what we're doing, and they love that there's somebody out there to defend the club and to show that we do have fans, and to be passionate and to ultimately represent what they love about this club. And you have to remember that even if you don't get messages like that, I can tell you right now that there is a significant amount of people that all these people here are thinking that. They just don't go out of their way to say that because they're doing their own thing and utilizing you as an outlet and being able to see the positive things that you are trying to bring the community, right? And that's not just Titans fans, that's general NRL fans as well. So this is a bit of an insight into social media. I can tell you right now, if you think that just because people are putting out happy faces and smiling faces and they're living it up, Barry, just because they've got a social media platform, I can tell you every single person, every single human has their own issues and has their own problems. And you only see what you're shown. You're only seeing what you're shown. And that definitely does provide evidence, and that definitely does support backing for what I'm saying, because you only see what I put in the vlog or the streams and whatnot. All right? There is so much else involved. But we love what we do. And it's not like vlogs are just stopping. I just need to see something that I can create a story out of that is not just negativity and is not providing the platform for hate and embarrassment. And losing like that to the Tigers on the weekend, losing to the Rabbitohs like that the other week, that doesn't provide a story for anything except for sheer embarrassment and sheer disappointment. I need to see something to be able to do that. So, yeah, that was what I have to say. I hope you guys can understand it and respect it. I will be at the Titans-Warriors game this week. I'm taking a bit of a mental reset over the next week and a half after the Warriors game to go to Fiji and visit my daughter and see my family. There's a bye next week for the Titans, and I'll be back for the Titans vs Sharks at Coffs Harbour. I will still be at every single game, home and away. You guys know me. I will still be there regardless if we come last or not. But yeah, much love. I appreciate every single one of you. And we will keep fighting for this club, regardless of the lack of support that you might receive. We will keep supporting this club and being one of the individual outlets, and I would argue quite individual, to be fair, but one of the individual outlets for a club that has never received its moment, but I believe one day we will. And I can tell you, message for Titans fans, that I see all your comments saying that you're going to leave. I see all your comments of hatred and vitriol towards certain players and staff members. I see the ultimate disappointment that you have with a club that is just constantly struggling. But what I will tell you is if you need to go, so be it. If you need to go, so be it. If you're not mentally resilient enough, I get it. I do. I really do get it. But please don't pretend like you were here through the shit if you can't handle it right now. When we do become successful, whenever that may be, please don't pretend that you're in the shit with us. Be honest about your support. And what I will say to people, and I had this conversation with somebody last night, a young lad who was asking me that he wanted to support the Titans, but his family were Cowboys fans, and he didn't know how to go about that. I will say, this club is possibly the most difficult to support, because there's no history and there's no success at any stage. Tigers, at least you have 2005. And with that, when you come in bottom last place, we're not too far off you in the years that you are. And we also have the same amount of experience since we come to the comp. So, I know Tigers fans want to make it like they're the hardest. They are difficult, but they've also won a premiership less than 20 years ago. This is the hardest team to support in the entirety of the competition. And you will be shunned, and you'll be hidden, and you will be laughed at, and you'll be taken the piss out of for that. As if you should be removed from the comp, as if you should be moved. This is the most difficult team in the competition to support, bar none. But there will be no better party and jubilation, ecstatic feeling, contentness. There will be no same feeling for anybody else than when the Gold Coast finally win their first ever premiership in any sport, specifically NRL. There will be no better feeling. So it may be a tough ride, but ultimately it will be worth it. It will be. That's all I have to say. See you guys tomorrow for the Under-19s Origin streams. We will be there for that. And I'll see all you Titans fans on Saturday at Seabus, which is going to be full of Warriors fans. Much love. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.